Oh boy. Oh, it's time. It's time to blow some shit up. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? We are starting Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. Now, I'm just gonna I'm gonna be honest up front. I don't know the most about Warhammer lore. I know a little, but not everything. I also did not play the first Space Marine game. I've seen kind of like some recaps and stuff, and kind of have a general idea of, of the plot. So I'm trying to think. This game takes place almost a couple hundred years after the first game. Still the same character, but it takes place well after the first game. There are connections at the very beginning of it. It's a whole thing. We'll kind of talk about it as it comes. So yeah, like I said, just don't expect me to be the most knowledgeable here. Kind of cranking down the volume a little bit. Excuse me. Ate lunch or dinner, I guess, before I started sitting down to record this. So yeah, like I said, just don't expect me to be the most knowledgeable on Space Marine or Warhammer 40k. But I'm super pumped for it. After playing this first, I think I played about 2 hours now. The game feels very much like oh my god, what was the name of that game? It was Evil West. If anybody remembers that, like, cowboy vampire game we played, I want to say it was a year or two ago. It really just kind of a dumb fun game, and that's kind of what this is. It's got a PvE mode and a PvP mode that I know that some people are really excited to kind of jump into. That we're just going to be playing the story. We're playing on normal like usual. I'm playing on PS5. I think that's all the housekeeping stuff, and I'm trying to think, do I want to kind of go into what happened in the first Space Marine game and everything? Little quick recap of the first Space Marine game. Our main character, Captain of the Ultramarines, a chapter within the Astartes, or the Space Marines. He's a captain. He goes on a mission to eradicate some orcs. Yes, there are orcs. If you don't know 40k, there are orcs in 40k, but they're like mushroom people who run on the power of imagination. That's not even a joke. Excuse me. But yeah, so they go on a mission, things go sideways, the forces of chaos show up through the warp. The warp is an extra-dimensional kind of plane in which the people can kind of tap into to gain psychic powers. It's a whole thing. Our main character, Titus, is unusually resistant to the effects of chaos and the warp and being tainted. It's very odd. It's not very common for people to have that immunity. He saves the day at the end of the game, but is turned in by one of his subordinates to the Inquisition, who are there to root out heresy and chaos and everything. He is then taken, and it's a really interesting moment, because to not bring dishonor to his chapter and to essentially be a Boy Scout like the Ultramarines are, he turns himself in, even though it's bullshit. He's not tainted by chaos. He goes and is tortured by the Inquisitor, even though there's no corruption or anything on him. The Inquisitor is kind of messed up in his own way. It's 40k, everyone's messed up. It's just kind of the world. Eventually, Titus is put into a cryo chamber and is eventually found by the Death Watch, a Space Marine chapter that are kind of like the Special Forces. And he joins them as a Black Shield. I believe that is a... How to describe the Black Shield? As far as I understand it, they join the Death Watch as kind of a repentance for some sort of act, but we know that Titus actually has nothing to repent for. It's a whole thing, is what it is, and that's kind of where this game begins. He is a member of the Death Watch on a mission here. I kind of ruined the big reveal, but Yeah. Either way, we're going to be playing on normal, as I said, and let's get into it. In the 41st millennium, humanity stands on the brink of annihilation. The galaxy-spanning imperium of man is beset on all sides by hostile aliens and threatened from within by traitors and heretics. It is an age of constant war, a new dark age, in which enlightenment is replaced by superstition, rhetoric, and blind prayer. To live in such times is to be amongst untold billions existing in the cruelest and bloodiest regime imaginable. The most powerful and dreaded of the Imperium's defenders are the Space Marines, bioengineered superhuman warriors. They are humanity's last bastion against the terror. There is no time for peace, no respite, no forgiveness. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. So if you're kind of new to 40K, you've seen, I'm sure there are bits of 40K that has kind of permeated culture, blood for the blood god, skull for the skull throne, glory to the emperor, all that stuff. But the series has a really cool aesthetic to it because, it's the grim dark future, because it's the future, but it's sci-fi, but there's major religious tones in it, because everyone fights for the Emperor, who is essentially a comatose god king, who has pretty much written the rules for everything, and isn't ruling, because again, if I remember correctly, he's in a coma, essentially. Oh yeah, that's right. For some reason, the subtitles weren't on at the very beginning.
Approaching drop zone.
This is fucking cool. Just all the hell. Oh my god, it looks so dope. But essentially what I'm saying is you'll see if you listen to the Marines talk, you listen to a lot of things in this game. You'll notice a whole lot of religious undertones or overtones even. There are chaplains, there are, you see the hood that this character is wearing. You'll see these wax seals all over their armors and religious passages. They're almost warrior priests in a weird way. And like it said, they're also all genetically altered, so we're all like 8 feet tall Gears of War characters. Oh, if anybody's...
Team leader to squad. Box check.
Excuse me. If you're looking at the backpack thinking, ooh, is that a jump pack, whatever? No. It's a power pack for their armor.
Nice from your position.
The good old chainsword. So yeah, like I said, the whole concept, you'll see a lot of religious overtones. You'll see a lot of some older looking technology. It's really kind of cool because they've lost the plans of how like a lot of technologies and whatnot are built, and it's been almost replaced with like a religious kind of doctrine that also kind of like how you make Space Marines is passed down through the different chapters, but it's done almost religiously, not like you're reading an anatomy textbook. How they have these giant robots, they can build them, but again, the plans are again almost like religious text. It's the best way I can describe it. You know, I'm sure we're gonna see some of the Adeptus Mechanicus somewhere in this. You know, you saw the Omni Messiah, the Machine God, or whatever. The Adeptus Mechanicus are essentially cyborg people who worship machines. The whole thing.
It is left to us to share the glory now, Telstros. Hold on, brothers.
See, at this point, even though I know, haha, I ruined the reveal that we are playing as Titus, the character from the first game. I know, I'm going to keep saying it. There were two options, really, I love that parry. And you don't even have to really land it at the proper time. You just kind of, as soon as you see the blue symbol pop up, you just hold L1, and you'll immediately do that parry and just smack him into the ground. It's awesome. So yeah, it seems that he's always referred to as Kill Team Leader. He was either going to die or be revealed as another character, so. And plus, it's known that Titus was in this game. He is the main character, so it just kind of... Really, all it does is show us the timeline of when this game takes place.
Now they send larger meat to stop me.
I was a little surprised with how much melee combat there was in this game, but as you're getting swarmed by these things, they're called the Tyranids. As you're getting swarmed by them, all the little guys, and you actually kind of have to use your melee to knock them back and create some space, or these that you actually fight hand to hand with. It works. It works well. It's not the best. It's not the best shooter or the best melee game, but it works well in conjunction, and it's a lot of fun. It's super violent and gross, and that's really all I wanted out of this game. I really just wanted, with this game, I wanted something stupid and simple, and it's what we got, but I've heard the narrative is actually really good when you get into it. So I'm actually kind of excited for that. But at the same time, I'm playing as an 8-foot jacked up super soldier. You had me at that. Mix that with the chain swords, remind me of the Gears of War chainsaw bayonets. Even though I think, yeah, 40K well precedes.
Darius.
Well precedes Gears of War. It took me a second. I was like, no, Gears of War was 2007, I think. Yeah, and 40K is way before 47, or before 2007.
Darius. I swear on it. Come, vermin.
I'll give you this, shooting the guns feels really good.
I shall be kicking these rotten seals out of my fangs for weeks. The situation here at the Lodge is becoming severe. Have you secured the virus bomb? I smash, 10 more come raining down. If we fail to launch that bomb, there will be nothing to stop the Tyranids. I am almost at the crash site. Just make sure the launcher is still standing.
So if you're hearing virus bomb being thrown out, that that kind of green canister that you saw on the dropship is what they're talking about. They're talking about the essentially it's exactly what it says. It's a virus bomb that's going to go up into the atmosphere, essentially just to kill the Tyranids. I'm not sure if it's... I don't think it's genetic... Oh, that was awesome. I don't think it's genetically made to just attack Tyranids. I think it'll attack anything. But the cool thing about being a Space Marine is you're pretty much immune to everything. I think there are people who would disagree with me on this, but I would say Space Marines are functionally immortal. And I know they can be killed. But essentially, if they aren't killed by something, they will live a very, 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 very long time. So they age extremely slowly. You know, they, like I said, without interference, they will live for a very long time. Hence why I say functionally immortal. Not actually immortal, but they're hard to kill, and...
We are running out of time.
Well, I say hard to kill, even though his buddies are getting killed, but...
Kill team, I am at the crash site.
Much harder than a normal foot soldier. Oh, I might also add that, hey guys, sorry that...
Brother, you have honored the Imperium with your devotion.
Sorry this video's coming up to you so late in the day, but the, I don't think I'm going to have time to put up part 2 just because, I have class in about an hour.
Alpha! Hellstros, if you can hear me, I have the virus bomb. Headed to the orbital launcher. Is that as hard as you bite, Xenos? Come on!
Yeah, I've got class in about an hour, so I probably won't have time to get the second video up tonight, but it will. So it will be the first one tomorrow. Biggest reason why I'm behind is because I didn't get access to the game until 11 o'clock. I put out a YouTube community post for it, but yeah, this is one of those games. It doesn't launch at midnight. It launches at 11 a.m., which normally is cool, except I had stuff to do today, so I technically couldn't even play it until about 1. So, yeah. See, this is the times that I'm saying this game reminds me a lot of Evil West, where you're in these kind of like duels against these guys with the melee weapons and everything, because you can still shoot your gun. But it's heavily melee focused. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I like it.
Tyranids have breached the perimeter. Over. Anyone? Is the bomb en route?
But I believe some people behind this were also the people behind the oh my gosh, not Daisy. Is it Daisy? World War Z. game. There we go. It took me a second. But you'll notice there are certain in a later section that you'll see some of the Tyranids all like climbing at you up a wall, and they're kind of creating like a wall of bodies to climb up each other. I think that technology was borrowed from that game to help kind of allow all these little minions to run across the screen all at once.
Are you with me? I have the bomb!
I'm trying to remember. I know what caliber, somewhere in the back of my mind, I know what caliber bolters are.
You have served your Emperor well, brother. Record log. To any Imperial unit that recovers this log, my kill team crash-landed off course. My brothers are all dead. Slain by Tyranids. I have the virus bomb. Moving to the orbital launcher. We'll fire into stratosphere where it will disperse over Tyranid positions.
But yeah, essentially those guns are shooting little mini rockets. You know, I'd love like a Helldiver game, or a Helldiver type game set in the 40k universe, where you play as a member of the Astra Militarum. So not the Astartes, not the Space Marines, just your rank and file soldiers. Because the whole point of them is that they're cannon fodder. You know, it's essentially you throw more bodies at the problem and eventually it'll go away. So I would love a game where you're like fighting like Tyranid or Orc hordes as just an Astra Militarum soldier. I think that would be super fun.
Continue log. The virus is our one chance to delay the Tyranid invasion. The virus will spread through their forces. They will adapt, but it will slow them down. The virus must be launched into the stratosphere. Nothing else matters.
But yeah, I mean, you could see the moments where oh my god, I can't remember. I heard this story. I think it was it's from 40k lore, but I can't remember what battle and what commander it was for the Militarum, but it was one of the famous ones where he essentially they're defending a point from orcs, and eventually they run out of ammo. You know, they can't, but he says, essentially keep popping up and firing and making shooting sounds. And you might think, well, that's really dumb. Why would you do that? Well, because remember when I said orcs a little bit ago, that orcs essentially run on the power of imagination? That's kind of how orc stuff works in 40k. They have a weird connection to the warp that essentially, as far as I understand it, if enough of them believe it hard enough, it just works. How do their spaceships work? Well, they just do. Because they believe hard enough that it works.
Operator shift change overdue.
You know, how do their, as they call them, the shooters, their guns, how do they work? They just do. You know, they paint their vehicles red because red makes it go faster. But why does red make it go faster? Because they believe it does. Like, that's just how orcs work in the 40k world. Well, so the commander was essentially just going, you know, just make all these sounds. These orcs are just dropping dead from not being shot because they think they're getting shot. So that's, you know, orcs are weird like that. Well, the orcs eventually just stop falling down and getting shot, and, you know, they stop getting hit, and they're trying to figure out, well, why is it? Well, eventually the orcs get close enough, and they just hear him go, I'm a tank, I'm a tank, I'm a tank, I'm a tank. I love 40K. If you can't tell. I'm not the biggest, like I haven't read all the books. I'm not the biggest lore hound or anything, but I'll always watch a 40K short talking about their lore or stories from 40K, because I find it so interesting and funny.
Hazardous material detected. Further benedictions required.
Transmitting override authorization. Set course for stratospheric detonation.
Set course for fun.
Must be performed. Seek an
I'm sorry.
authorized Magos at the command console.
Machine Spirit, where is the command console?
On the observation platform above. The Magos on duty does not respond.
Summon the lift.
And hear that machine spirit when essentially it's just an AI talking to them, but it's a machine spirit. Like again, the religious overtones. I mean, look at some of the Space Marines. Their bigger spaceships look like floating cathedrals. God damn it! 40K is just has one of the coolest aesthetics in fiction.
Machine Spirit, what is the status of the orbital launcher?
Hibernation. Console inactive for 22 hours. This impiety to the Omnissiah has been logged.
Activate launch systems.
The rite of initialization must be performed. Seek an authorized Magos at the command console. The command console is posted at the edge of the observation platform. A Magos will attend to you shortly.
Doubtful.
Doubtful.
Predictions complete. Awakening systems from hibernation. Rite of capacitors initialized. Personnel may begin prayers of charging.
Throne. Can you not hasten the damn process?
Seismic disruptions have occurred. Launch trajectory may have been altered.
And here they come. Remember what I said about World War Z and how it's kind of, I think, uses some of that technology to create these swarms? That's pretty cool. So I'm just sitting here like waiting for them to come up that wall. They just never come. What's going on? And it's behind you.
Presence detected on the railway.
See, they're trying to climb up the walls like that.
Launch preparations complete. Standing by, Magos.
You see, when they're turning that corner, you can kind of see them skid. Like, the animations for the Tyranids are pretty good. You know, I wouldn't call this game super impressive, but man, it is just a feel-good, just hack and slash and shoot monsters, and it's just a return to a bygone era of just, it's dumb, but man, is it fun. I kind of miss games like that. Like, don't make me think. Let me chainsaw things. I got swarmed. Putting grenade on circle is a little weird in my opinion, but whatever.
Throne, can you not hasten the damn process?
Seismic disruptions have occurred. Launch trajectory may have been altered.
There's hucking grenades down there.
Organic presence detected on the railway. All personnel prepared for launch. Launch preparations complete. Standing by. Lagos.
And execute.
Attention.
I say it's always worth going for the execution just because it kind of keeps them away. Words shoots it kind of shoots the enemies back from you, kind of lets you create some space. Well, there weren't any more, so the enemies couldn't climb up the wall as efficiently. Because there weren't any more joining their little pile.
It is done.
Dun dun dun, the reveal. And the reveal of the 4 service studs in his head. So you're seeing those kind of what look like little bolts in his forehead. They're called service studs. As far as I understand, you get 1 for every 100 years that you've served in the Astartes. And in the first game, he only had only had 2. So there you go. You can
I will not
tell
rest
this game
until
takes
you
place
lie
like 200
dead.
years after the first one. I also think because they wanted to make Space Marine canon in the 40K world, they made the first game take place far, like much further back in the past, because Titus was a captain of the 2nd Division, I think it was, of the Ultramarines. And the problem with that was that, well, we know who the 2nd captain of the Ultramarines were in 40K lore, you know. But instead, they essentially made it the first game take place just 200 years before the current, the current timeline. And so essentially, when we rejoin the Ultramarines, kind of gonna have a, what's the word? Have a demotion. I think he gets bumped down to lieutenant. It'll all be explained next video. They'll talk more about it. Because I kind of end this one at the end of the prologue, quote unquote, because it was a good, kind of a good stopping point.
We will eradicate your kind from the galaxy. May that virus strip your flesh from your bones.
The blood splatter quickly pops on the screen and goes away. It doesn't, like, slowly disappear. It's there and gone. And there you go, guys. Part 1. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, not already. Please subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for more next time. And I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow with more of this. But until then, guys, thanks for watching. I'm out.